DSS, they should go to that church and open that altar. Open his altar. I won't say further than that.
Until death do us part.
Leave my father and mother.
Leave my father and mother.
And submit myself to be your wife.
And submit myself to you.
Police is in your house?
Yes.
Don't turn off.
Police is in my house. Police is in my house.
Oh wow, so now the police are involved. After days of interviews, fresh accusations and shocking claims, Doris Ogala was reportedly arrested, and it happened while she was live online. In the middle of the talk about Pastor Chris Okafor, her voice suddenly changed, and we hear her say, "Police is in my house." Seconds later, the live video ended. That single moment changed the entire saga. Now, hello everyone, welcome back to Jewel TV. If this is your first time here, you're welcome. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on your notifications so you don't miss updates as this story continues to unfold. So the real question now is this: what exactly led to this moment? And what happens next if all these serious claims cannot be backed up with evidence? Let's talk. To understand how we got here, we need to rewind a bit. After Doris' first emotional videos, where she cried openly and said Pastor Chris' marriage would not hold, many people thought that was the peak of the drama. They assumed it was heartbreak, shock, and raw emotion that would settle with time. Before the arrests, before the interviews, before the police drama, there was a wedding. And it's important we talk about that wedding because it was actually one of the things that triggered a lot of what we are seeing now. From the videos and pictures that circulated online, Pastor Chris Okafor's marriage was not a loud, crowded ceremony. It was quiet, small, very controlled. Just a few people in attendance, no massive congregation, no open church celebration the way many people expected from a popular pastor. That alone got people talking, because usually when well-known pastors get married, it becomes a big church event. But this one looked different, private, almost guarded, like something they didn't want too much attention on. Still, a popular pastor was spotted at the ceremony, joining them to bless the union. That presence gave the wedding a level of legitimacy in the eyes of some followers.
Riches and in health.
For the rest of our lives.
For the rest of our lives.
Until death do us part.
Until death do us part.
And on account of this.
And on account of this.
I, Pearl Chioma Benedict.
I, Pearl Chioma Benedict.
According to the word of God.
According to the word of God.
Leave my father and mother.
Leave my father and mother.
And submit myself to be your wife.
And submit myself to be your wife.
After the wedding, there was a small reception. Again, nothing loud, no massive crowd, just close friends and associates. The couple looked happy, smiling, relaxed, like people who believed they were starting a new chapter. But then came the moment that changed the tone of public reaction. At the reception, a song was played, a secular, worldly song, not a gospel song, and the couple danced to it. Now, on its own, dancing at a wedding is not strange. But for many Nigerians, especially church members, the type of song matters, particularly when the groom is a pastor. That song became a major talking point. People began sharing the clip, analyzing it, replaying it, and some were shocked, others were disappointed. Some defended it, others criticized it heavily. The criticism came from one main angle. What kind of pastor chooses this kind of song at his wedding? For some Christians, a pastor represents a standard, not perfection, but restraint. So when people saw that clip, they felt it reflected something deeper about the pastor. Pastor Chris' personality and values. Some said it showed he is more worldly than spiritual. Others said it showed he separates church from personal life. Some said pastors are human and allowed to enjoy themselves. Others said leadership comes with sacrifice and example. That single moment divided opinions. So guys, before we go further, let's check what people are saying. Bridget says by fire by forced marriage. Ode Emmanuel says 419 in the altar of God. Judgment day is going to be hilarious. Moyo Sola says, now wow, people can keep secrets, sha. Biko, how did they plan all this with Ashebi for all the bridegrooms without Madam Doris even hearing Pim self? Wayne Dede says Pastor and APC is one. Dorothy says, congratulations, sir. A big congratulations. Ruth Neka says, Auntie, sure you know say na only prayer fit keep you in this house and holiness. If not, Janet Mercy says, congratulations, servants of God. Your union is blessed. Okay, Ape says, so who won't come marry that one where you don't vandalize her pipeline? Okay, Mary says, how can they be playing such music in a pastor's wedding reception? And the pastor is dancing to the music. Hey, now wow, what a life. And Raymond Njoku says, he is enjoying himself today, but tomorrow is pregnant. Promise said, pulpit bandits. Oga said, see groovy now. And Kaka said, pastor, they dance worldly music. Victoria says, this Chris, why I see so, no go abide by this vow. Trauma, just carry your cross with grace, so congratulations. And then Adonis says, despite all scandals, the church couldn't wait to make him clear the scandal. I doff cap for Christianity. And for Doris, according to her own words later, those wedding pictures and videos, including the dancing, were deeply, deeply triggering. She said seeing him celebrate publicly while she was in pain pushed her emotionally. That's when the narrative shifted from the quiet marriage to loud controversy. Now, whether people agree or disagree with the criticism, one thing is clear. That wedding exposed how differently people view Pastor Chris. To some, he is just a man who got married and enjoys his day. To others, he is a pastor who stresses raise questions about character and discipline. And in situations like this, perceptions matters. Because pastors don't just lead with sermons, they lead with example. So when people saw a small wedding controlled guest list, a popular pastor present, then a reception with a song many considered inappropriate, they began connecting dots, fairly or unfairly. Some said the small wedding was intentional to avoid scrutiny. Some said it was wisdom, not everything needs to be public. Some said the song choice showed who Pastor Chris really is behind the pulpit. These reactions are opinions, not facts, but they matter because they shape public trust. And trust is everything for a religious leader. So when the wedding happened quietly and then the allegations followed loudly, people naturally went back to rewatch those wedding clips with different eyes. What once looked like joy started to look suspicious to some. What once looked like privacy started to look strategic to others. And that is how quickly public opinion changes. The wedding itself may have been peaceful, but the reaction to it was anything but. And unfortunately, that moment of celebration became one of the sparks that set off everything that followed. Doris began granting multiple interviews, one platform after another, one blogger after another. In these conversations, she moved from tears to details. She said she was no longer holding back. According to her, she had reached a breaking point. She claimed her relationship with Pastor Chris was not recent. She said it went back several years. She spoke about emotional involvement, trust, and promises. She said she sacrificed a lot based on what she believed was a future together. These were her claims. She also said her initial reaction, demanding that Pastor Chris must marry her, was not truly about marriage. According to her, that reaction came from pain, from shock, from seeing his wedding pictures and videos online. She said those images triggered her emotionally, and honestly, that part made some people pause, because heartbreak can make people say things they don't fully mean. But after that explanation came something much heavier. Doris started making very serious allegations. She accused Pastor Chris of being involved in dirty money dealings. She accused him of sleeping with multiple women, and then she made one of the most shocking claims yet, that someone was buried under the altar of his church. This was the moment many Nigerians sat up, because this was no longer gossip. This was no longer emotional talk. This was a criminal allegation.
DSS, they should go to that church and open that altar. Open his altar. I won't say further than that. When they were building that place collapsed. Somebody died too. But apart from somebody that there's something, there's a blogger that found something on the ground. This man was begging. Called me, said, what do I give to this blogger to close the mouth? The DSS should go and open that altar.
The church altar.
The church altar where he used to stand, that pulpit, they should dig it up and open it.
As of now, there is no publicly released police reports or court documents confirming this claim. No official investigation has been announced to the public. That means legally this remains an allegation. She also spoke again about a missing child testimony she said she was involved in. She also suggested that money exchanged hands and that she played a role. She implied that this issue later caused problem between her and Pastor Chris. Again, no official confirmation has been released, and this is where the conversation shifted from sympathy to accountability, because at this level, evidence matters. Then came the moment that changed public perception even more. Doris released a photo of Pastor Chris that showed him partially nude, from his head down to part of his waist. She also threatened that if he posted more wedding pictures or videos, she would release more explicit images. That action drew a strong reaction, because no matter the pain, releasing private images without consent is a serious offense under Nigerian law. And threatening to release more can also fall under cybercrime or blackmail laws. At that point, many Nigerians who had sympathized with Doris began to step back, and then shortly after that, the arrest reportedly happened. She was live online, still talking, still emotional, and then she said, "Police in my house," and the live video ended.
Police is in your house?
Yes.
Don't turn off.
Police is in my house. Police is in my house.
Police is in your house? Are they
Yes.
inside?
Yes, Charity.
They are
You are
inside.
a fool.
Who allowed
They
them
haven't
in?
tried to open my door.
Now, as at the time of this recording, the Nigerian police have not released a detailed public statement explaining exactly why Doris was arrested or what charges, if any, have been filed. So naturally, questions are everywhere. Was it because of the nude image? Was it because of threats? Was it cyber stalking? Was it defamation? Or was it something else entirely? Until the police speak officially, all of this remains speculation. But now, let's pause here and talk about someone many people keep ignoring, the new wife. Or let me say, the woman Pastor Chris Okafor has chosen to marry. Because while Doris is talking, accusing, granting interviews, and now dealing with police issues, there is another woman at the center of all of this who has remained completely silent. No posts, no interviews, no reactions, no indirect messages, just silence. And sometimes silence is louder than shouting. From the wedding and engagement photos and videos that circulated online, she appeared calm, confident, and ready to start a new chapter. The images looked planned, joyful, like a man who believed he had closed one chapter and was opening another. But then everything exploded, and Nigerians began asking quiet but important questions. What does this woman know? When did she know it? Did she know about Doris before the engagement? Did she know about the alleged long relationship? Did she know about the interviews, the threats, the private photos? Did she also know about the past controversies surrounding Pastor Chris? Or did all of this come as a shock to her, just like it did to everyone else? We don't know. And that is why opinions are divided. Some people are sympathizing with her. They say she did nothing wrong, that she met a man who presented himself as a single man and ready to marry, that she said yes to a proposal and should not be punished for someone else's unresolved pain. Others are more cautious. They say marriage does not erase history, that wedding pictures don't cancel allegations, that silence does not stop consequences. Some even say she might be the biggest victim in all of this. Because imagine preparing for a marriage and waking up every day to new allegations, arrests, and threats, all tied to the man you are about to spend your life with. That is not an easy emotional burden. And yet she has remained quiet. Some call it wisdom, some call it shock, some call it denial, some call it strength. But silence, whether good or bad, does not change reality. Now let's come back to Doris again. Many people are now asking, was all this really necessary? Was going live repeatedly the best option? Was releasing private images justified? Was threatening exposure the right path? Pain can explain reactions. It does not remove responsibility. If Doris does not have solid evidence, documents, recordings, official proof, then this situation could end very badly for her legally. If she does have evidence, then the right place for that evidence is not social media, but the police and the courts. Social media is not a courtroom. Another question Nigerians keep asking is this: why do stories like this keep repeating around religious leaders? Why do people with long-running controversies still command loyalty? Why do followers defend leaders even when serious allegations arise? Why do women keep finding themselves emotionally trapped in relationships with powerful men? Some say it is fate, some say it is fear, some say it is hope for miracles, some say it is conditioning. But one thing is clear: power without accountability always leaves damage. Now, what should we expect next? If Doris is formally charged, the case will be moved into legal system. Lawyers will get involved, evidence will be examined, and social media will lose control of the narrative. If investigations are opened into her claims, then those mentioned may be questioned officially. That would move this story from gossip to justice. Either way, this is a turning point, because once police step in, this is no longer content, it is law. And for everyone watching, bloggers, commentators, viewers, this is a reminder: words spoken online don't disappear, screenshots don't vanish, and emotions don't protect anyone in court. This story is still unfolding, but one thing is clear: the louder it gets, the more evidence matters. And in the end, truth does not need threats. Truth does not need blackmail. Truth survives investigation. We will keep watching, updating responsibly, and asking the right questions, because this is no longer just about Doris Ogala or Pastor Chris Okafor. It is about accountability, it is about power, and it is about what happens when private pain turns into public warfare.